go fuck themselves. The hack is gonna fucking suck. And that's what I realized. That's what I realized. Life, that's why I wanted to come on here today. I didn't want to come on here and talk about no fucking passion and purpose and how to get the fuck out of bed and how to hit a fucking alarm clock and all this catchphrase bullshit. Because that wasn't how I lived. That wasn't how I lived. I woke up like every human being does and goes, fuck, man, I'm a fucking piece of shit today. How the hell is this gonna work out for me? And you fight that. And you fight that. You don't override it. There's no override button. It's the conversation in your fucking, like, in your head. So how do you do that? We don't have enough of these conversations about the real conversation that every human being is having. And they have no idea how to get out of it, but they do. It's that shit right there, man. You gotta build your will. Most people are missing something because they don't know who they are. They never examine themselves. They've never done this experiment on themselves.
Yo, yo.
The lab rat.
What's good? What's good, everybody?
But you're also the scientist.
We're back.
You create your own self. Most people are missing something because there's so much trapped in there.
We're back. What's good? Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me good. Gonna be on for a little bit here for the next like 30 minutes. Won't be a long stream, but gonna do a little bit of analysis on gold real quick. We got maybe a nice chart to look at here tonight. What price we at? 4,300. Gold broke $4,300. So right now, just trading above 4,300. We got some short-term like support here in the market. And we got another zone down below. Like if we look at gold right now, maybe two areas to focus on tonight or going into tomorrow. You can see here where the market is currently testing. There seems to be like that demand now, like gold. It spent some time, and then we broke out. We had a nice market structure shift up. We broke out of that rectangle pattern that we were in, and it's been clean. Like if you look at the price action, it was pretty clean. I was able to find a couple trades. Yeah, we just broke out. Like we had that pause for a bit. FOMC came in, bam, kicked up. We had a good trade yesterday that I went over live on one of the streams I did last night. So yeah, we've broken above this resistance here. Got a nice break, like strong move up. The market did pull down a bit, but we've broken above that resistance. Now, pretty much want to see like if it can stay above that resistance. The market could try to pull back to the resistance. That would be maybe one way to look at price. Right now, when you look at like 30-minute, well, even 1 hour, we do have some support here. Look at the 30-minute. You have a bit of a support here in the market. Might stay sideways up here because it's seems like one of those times where like the demand has kicked in. So I think like overall, my bias, like my opinion tonight is just like seeing if price can make continuations. Either you're probably gonna get like continuations out of this range to push up, or a bigger pullback to that resistance that we broke out of. So we broke out of a key area. I think it'll try to stay above that today going into tomorrow, like tonight going into tomorrow. You could try to make some continuations. Like usually when gold has like demand, you can get a lot of continuation patterns or just like breakout to the breakouts more movement in the trending direction. So I mean, it's either like continuation from like these levels up here, or a bigger pullback. Monday, where's Monday? It's been going up all week. Yeah, it's been going up since the start of the week. It's been an uptrend week. It took FOMC to get that breakout. You know, gold was making a lot of support in here. FOMC was like the breakout catalyst. So I think like the trend has triggered bullish. I think we do want to try to go higher. Near term, it's like when you look at price right now, it's like you have this in front of you. There could be like a pattern forming here, continuation building up here. If like this support holds, is what I'm seeing some support here. Market could try to continue up, right? Have more of like a continuation from this area. You got 4,075, 4,275, 4,270 area, maybe like 69, 68 area. You got like an area there that could potentially hold for like continuations to start out with, like how tonight's looking. So 42.75, 42 like 68, like 69, that area. That could hold. Market already tried. There's that candlestick there you can see here that got retraced already. Where we hit 42.85 and we went down to 42. So it made a pretty decent retracement, like a quick one already. Bounce back. I think any pullbacks, like you see this move, was a quick drop, it got eaten up. Any pullbacks will probably have the same effect. The next area would be like down here. If it goes down lower tonight, there's a previous resistance. Loud and clear. We're not going to be on too much longer, maybe like 20 more minutes. But yeah, looking like you might get a continuation. It seems like price like has that possibility, that strong momentum to just make like more of a continuation. Only other thing would be like if, you know, that's one thing, like that's what's in front of us right now. If we're looking at what's in front of us on the chart, that might hold. Or later on you just get like a different entry. But yeah, metals right now seem strong. Like all the metals seem strong at the moment. Well, they are strong. Might be like forming it might have just paused a bit here, sort of like a rectangle. It might be trying to break out to the upside. Only other like things I could think is like if the market just kind of stays in this range, could try to come back, or there could be like a liquidity sweep and then it still tries to make the same move up. Only other thing that like I could think of aside from like it possibly just continuing is again like maybe like a liquidity sweep. Market tries to find lower prices before pushing up. But yeah, we've broken out, so just to simplify things, we have broken out key area here. So any like pullbacks toward like close to that area could be something to look at. You can see on this chart, this is a 4-hour time frame that I'm on right now. We had a little bit of support there. Again, support and resistance, just like a zone where you can see there's been both support, resistance, supply, and demand, right? We just broke out of that. So any pullbacks like back to that area could be something to consider. Maybe even like today's the last night of the week, and then like market closes tomorrow, right? So even like going into next week, this is probably something we might be talking about tomorrow, or even like going into next week, depending on what price does tonight. But any pullbacks to that area maybe could leave us a move up, continuations to like 4,300. So that's what we're paying attention to on gold. The fact that it broke above this key area. With the FOMC yesterday, they cut the rates. Metals do seem strong right now. You also have like where is it from earlier? Let me see if I can find it. Like you have this news going on too with like NATO, Russia, Europe. Russia could attack NATO within 5 years, says alliance chief in stark new warning. So this is this morning. I know we looked at it. Let me see. Russia news. What are the ones I had earlier? So here we go. Here we go. Security General Mark Root warned Thursday that members of alliance could be Russia's next target. This is what's going on right now. Uncertainty of another war escalating. So that's like what we can take from this. The uncertainty could be coming in to things escalating on this. I don't have this, but you can see like the article here. I know we clicked on a couple things earlier and got some like information. There it says Europe must prepare for scale of war our grandparents endured. I think we saw this article earlier today. Russia may be ready to attack the alliance within 5 years. Yeah. We're Russia's next target. So stuff like this, it's going to drive more demand into gold. If this keeps going on, if this even escalates further, if a war happens, whether or not, I don't have a crystal ball, but if you paid attention to the markets in 2025, man, like you saw how things went. But yeah, so right now there's like a good kind of sense of demand for gold just because of how it broke out of like this rectangular pattern that it was in for the last like 2 weeks. Like a strong breakout of that rectangle pattern. Yo, anyone who was on yesterday's stream, I broke it down like on point. So the demand's there to even like potentially get like continuation patterns where it's like the market's just kind of like in an upbeat a phase where like, you know, something like this. Phases where it's like, okay, the momentum's on and it breaks out, stalls for a bit, continues, or even like if I look over here, like here, even like see here, see how a price breaks out here. There's like there's a strong push, right? So it's like when gold does like strong pushes like that, it's like demand's in the market. A lot of times you can get like a good continuation of that in the same day, like in the same kind of period where it's like that push is happening. You get a strong push. A lot of times it can just make a continuation pattern. It will do that a lot. Like continuation patterns are pretty normal on gold when there's like a shock of demand in the market. When demand just really kicks in, you will get good continuation patterns on it. So I mean, I'm wondering if that happens tonight with what builds up here. Like you have this sort of like structure pattern building up here, pretty sideways at the moment so far, going into like Tokyo session. It could try to come back, bounce, or it like I know gold. It could try to take out the lows, like seek more liquidity and still like make the same move to the upside. Overall, it looks like there's demand on the chart because of like the fact that we broke above that resistance. And I know now, like keeping up with this, like looking at this today, what's going on, like, rates got cut as well. Yeah, basically they're saying they must prepare for war with Russia. So the market, wonder how the market's going to take this even like tomorrow, next week. So that's like the news that happened this morning. Like he had this speech, I guess, and kind of ruled that out. That's what he said. Europe should prepare for war like our grandparents endured, warns NATO chief. You could look into it. Things like this always kind of like make me obviously like more bullish on gold, to be honest. Like it's not maybe it's not positive news, right? It's not positive news in a sense to like the world fundamentally, but things like this usually trigger more of like a bullish sentiment. If you go gold futures has, so there's gold futures chart, and that's one of the charts to also pay attention to. The gold futures is priced a bit differently than where the gold forex is, XAU. So this is GC, and you can see the price of this is a bit above $4,300. So holding a psychological level, 4,300. Down here is 4,275. So they can be slightly off, actually. You can see there's a difference in price. We could use this chart and be like it's holding 4,300. There's support on this chart at 4,300. So this is the gold futures price. It might be confusing in the beginning to understand, but spot futures price is different than the forex price, forex broker price. In essence, you could still have the same levels on here, like the quarters, if you are familiar with the quarters, maybe. If you're in the inner circle, you might be. You can still have like the quarters even on like this chart as well. So literally, damn, Tuesday it was at 4,200. So that price on Forex, 4,200 on Tuesday was going to be like 4,175 for gold. So at the same time, they were both at like a cycle, like Gold here was at 41.75 XAU. 40. This is 41.75 here. $41.75. The GC price was at 4,200 at that spot. Let's go, like, if we look at like 40, here's 42.25. That might have been like 4,200 for like the gold price here. Let's see, like right now, like 4,300 right now is like 42.75 pretty much, almost. It's a little bit different. Like here, see this resistance here? Let's see where price is here. See, it's almost, see, this is where it's like, see, this is touching 42.75. This is almost touching 42.50. It misses it by maybe $1. If I put it right at 42.50, maybe it misses it by like $1, a couple dollars. Putin will stop his aggression with Ukraine and could look to attack NATO within 5 years. Conflict at the door. Yep, we heard that. Yeah, so this is interesting. I'm going to say that President Trump is the only one who can get Putin to the negotiating table. Yeah, maybe that's why they call it. It's been called the Golden Age. You know, Donald Trump, the Golden Age. Look at the price of gold. You know, the Golden Age. His whole campaign was the Golden Age. Right? His entire campaign was like literally the Golden Age. Look at the price of gold. Interesting enough is, I don't know, maybe there's a coincidence there. Maybe. Whatever you want to think about it, your opinion. The Golden Age. What do we got here? Look at this. Look at this shape. The Golden Age. That's what they meant. Gold. I usually look at XAU, but time and time I quickly just like I quickly go over to the futures price. Time and time, most of the time I'm looking at XAU, but time and time I'll go to the futures price and just kind of see. You can use it kind of as like a little reflector in the analysis just to see the price difference. So waiting on gold tonight. I mean, there's really two ways to maybe approach the market tonight. One is like looking for a near-term continuation, seeing if this turns into more of like a continuation pattern. So I think at best you would have like maybe if the market could hold, like I said before, 42.75. And that like 42.68 area. If that area doesn't hold, then like I would just see like a, you know, liquidity being grabbed, kind of like, you know, like a stop loss hunt, maybe some manipulation as some people like to call it, before making the move. Yeah, I think tonight there's maybe two angles to look at price. One is trying to wait for a deeper pullback, like to the previous resistance that we broke out that I highlighted, or seeing if you get this continuation pattern. Right, that could happen still. That could play out. Just knowing gold, it does that a lot. I'm used to seeing a lot of like continuations in gold because it's the only thing I look at and have looked at for years. So a lot of times when it breaks out pretty strong like this, like how it did the last day or two, it's like a sign of like potential continuation. So I mean that potentially, or deeper pullback. Either way, there's like there's a setup coming tonight on gold. Anybody who was live yesterday or inside the inner circle, I sent a good trade yesterday. I'm gonna be on the charts watching tonight, see if there's a good entry to send tonight. But yesterday we had a trade was that yesterday? Yeah. Here it is. Well, technically like today in terms of time, but we had a good trade. Like we were looking for buys on gold, 4205, 4200 area. Down there, 4200, 4195 area. Yesterday, 4211, 4208. Yesterday the buys are down here, 4211, 4208 area. Like could have been a huge trade. Stop loss was there. Could have been a huge trade. But yesterday, last trade I took and sent out, like I sent it out to over 600 people inside of my Discord channel where we send the signals. We had a good entry. Our entry was literally in this area. That was like the last step. So I'm gonna wait tonight. Like that entry came like closer to London session. Right now it's Tokyo session. Maybe Tokyo session consolidates a bit more, builds up some volume, sweeps the lows, goes back up. Like I'm seeing continuations tonight, and I know I'm gonna stream a bit later, like I did last night. Last night I streamed pretty late. I think I streamed at like 2 in the morning last night. But that's where I caught the buy. Was literally started taking buys on gold at 2 a.m. last night. So we were like buying gold down here. And yeah, we caught a good trade. We're gonna see tonight, like there might be a trade in this area. The next trade, if this area doesn't hold, like I'm gonna be watching for the setup that I really want, which would be again maybe down here around 42.50. Oh wait, last trade I took was a great entry. Right now, I mean, I'd like to see if price comes down a bit more. You could try to see if this area reacts for Tokyo session. If not, there's going to be a trade closer to London session than for gold. Like last night, price pushed up and then it corrected and it went up. But before it went up, it kind of went sideways. And now price is just going sideways. So there's like two things that could happen. It's either you're going to get that continuation, or you're going to stay sideways a bit, correct a bit more, and make the same, like make the move up. Like it could break underneath this sideways, go for like a deeper retracement, but still make the same move. We'll probably be on later. Yeah, I'm feeling like we'll jump on later. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up before I jump on later. Maybe some of the things that I'm looking at tonight, but I am going to jump on later. Not a long stream we're going to do here. We're going to wrap it up soon, shortly here, in a few minutes. So you might hold like this area, like I said, like 42.75, 42.68 area. If not, I see it like one of these patterns. Like usually, like when you have like a rectangle pattern, it's like you can get continuations. A lot of times they end up like this, where it's like you get that rectangle pattern and then the market goes down but makes a move like this. So I kind of see that like ahead of time. Something I'm thinking like ahead of time, like because we have like a big push up, we're starting to go kind of sideways. So a lot of times it's like these, you know, typically you expect this, but a lot of times the market can fall out but still make that same move. Oh. But yeah, we're going to be on later. Recommend trailing stop loss. I don't usually do it that often, to be honest, because when I'm in a trade I monitor it. But no, I mean, usually when I've done that I'll get like wicked out. No, I've never been one to always usually trail a stop loss so often. I mean, the trade would have to be significantly in profit, like pips wise. Like it'd have to be like far from my entry for me to do that. Depends if I'm going break even or not. Like if I'm deciding to go break even, then I'll do it. If it's like, okay, I'm gonna go break even on this trade, then it's like, okay, I'll put my stop loss a bit in profit. That's usually if I'm gonna go break even, usually it's that for me. But I don't like to trail it too close to price with gold. It's easy for it to pull back. Like I'm pretty sure like the trade I sent last night like hit a take profit here and then it went down. Like the trade I sent yesterday like hit like take profits. Like it could have been, you could have traded it more than once. Like we could have got in and out of it. Those are usually the best trades for gold, the ones that like you could get in and out more than once. So yeah, this is a little heads up for tonight. For me, yeah, like to trail stop loss has to be like significantly in profit, like a good, like far from my entry. But I don't usually do it. It's like the only times I do it that I could think of is when I'm putting a trade to break even and I just like, okay, move my stop loss a bit in profit. Might be getting like a flag here, like continuation. Right, it could be that. If it's not, like these patterns do end up like having like manipulation and then they end up going up, but still I'm seeing bullish on gold. I feel like the bulls are strong right now. Yeah, if wars don't stop, then probably like above 5,000. If wars don't stop, you have to see how we've seen what 2025 did. It seems like 2026 gold will maybe go up for the same reasons it went up in 2025. If more wars happen, that's just further escalation of like uncertainty. So. And that's just conflict, fear, safe haven. What do we got? Let's see these moving averages on the daily real quick. Yeah, like see these moving out. Let's go weekly. Weekly moving averages. Like weekly's way back here. The moving averages. Monthly, weekly, daily. Daily's crossed over. Look at the 4 hour. 4 hour moving averages right below us here. See that? See those moving averages kind of crawling up on price. I like to see that. Let's wait. Let's stay patient tonight. Like, I'm gonna be back on later. I'm gonna look for another signal tonight. See if we can get one more trade to end the week off. I sent a signal last night at 1:54 in the morning, so last night's was kind of late. I'm just gonna be monitoring price for that timing to come, but like, yeah, this is just a little heads up of some of the stuff that I kind of have in mind for tonight, just on my view of price and gold right now. Like gold, like 10%. Like let's just say if it gets a 10% increase, you know, 10% increase in 2026. Let's say 10% increase. It could do that in the year of 2026, potentially like a 10% increase. Maybe within that range. Highest, that's like 4,700 or 4,700, 4,600s, 4,500 minimum out of like a 5% increase. Maybe by mid 2026 or end of 2026, it'll probably be at higher prices. Mid 2026 or end of 2026. I mean, we gotta, like, part of like being trader investors on the charts is keeping up with news too. Like, one month after another, you get different news headlines, things that come out. So we don't know in coming months through this year what type of other news and further escalations are gonna happen or rise. Other conflicts, wars, like one of you guys said in the chat. First push down retest, yeah. It did have, like, if we look at last night's move, one thing to consider. So, like, last night it did move down. About, like, $35, $40 move. So, like, if it does that, that would be, like, down here. It already had, like, a good, like, $23. It already had, like, a pretty fast dip down. It could. One thing is, it's like last night it made this push up and it wasn't going as like sideways as it is right now. So yeah, like you're right. Like it could do like a dip like last night, and that would give it more of that corrective phase. But you could see how last night it pushed up. Well, yesterday it pushed up, corrected down, and then it went sideways. This time it's pushing up, going sideways. So it's like it could potentially continue in the sideways. Like I could see like yesterday corrected, nice retracement, but then went sideways, pushed up. Today's pushed up, now we're going sideways. So it's kind of two angles here with how price could go. But I agree, like it could be like yesterday. Next week could be the last to trade in the year. Yeah, like pretty much. Like I mean, you don't gotta make, you don't gotta feel the need to trade this time of the year. Well, after next week, like you don't have to feel the need like you need to trade. You like the markets. A lot of brokers, like most people's brokers, are probably going to be closed. But next week, pretty much, like, there's going to be days you look at the chart and there's not going to be much volume. Crypto will move. Like, if you're trading crypto, it'll probably move on the holidays. I mean, like, market's going to be, like, think about a bank holiday. Like, you guys are traders. So, this isn't preschool here. Think about it. You guys are traders. Think about when there's a bank holiday. Now it's a week of bank holidays, right? Think about how the market is on a bank holiday. So, I mean, after next week, market probably won't move too much. You guys have seen bank holidays before, so it's like, think about a bank holiday, how the market is. There's a lot of bank holidays. So it's like you can pick and choose to trade or not. Good time to maybe just not try to make your trading goals happen in the next week. Like, you don't have to pass the challenge or flip your account, or because you're gonna have plenty weeks of that coming after the holidays. So I mean, there might, we'll see how next week goes. Most traders don't like December. Most traders say, December market psychology's off. I mean, we've been pretty consistent this December. I'm just still consistent, showing up, looking at the charts, because I don't want to miss out on anything. So it depends on like where your energy's at. If you've been consistent this month, if you've had a bad month or a good month, because you could just chill. But if you're like me, I don't want to miss out on anything and have to like catch up and be like, okay, what happened? So I'm still going to be looking at the charts every day like I have been. Still going to be streaming every day. I'm still going to be streaming every day, looking at the charts like I have been. Just in case like something happens, you never know. Like, kind of like when you least expect things happen. And sometimes when you have sometimes when you have like the highest expectancy for things, it's like it doesn't go as planned. So it's good to stay like neutrally consistent. If you're looking at like the next 2 weeks, like I gotta make my trading, I gotta make it or break it, make my year. There's no rush. There's gonna be a lot of months coming ahead where you're gonna just need to pick things up and adapt to like the market once the new year starts. Some traders take like some traders will take like 2-3 weeks off this time of the year. Depends on like your trading year, I'm someone who likes to stay on top of things because I'm always looking at gold. And like we see with gold, like any little news can impact gold's movements significantly. Any little or big news. So I like to keep up with it daily. If you've had a good couple trading weeks, you could say, I'm gonna take a break for the next week or two. Write down your goals, stack up some energy. Sometimes taking like time off stacks your energy up again. You regain your energy off. You take a little bit of a break. You you reaccumulate some energy for yourself. Next week we'll see how next week goes. Maybe it's just a regular week. Like, it's December market, but we've been just pretty consistent with the way we've been looking at the charts. We haven't been all over the place, over trading. Maybe missed out on some good swings, like could have been more aggressive is what I mean. Like, didn't miss out, but could have been more aggressive on some of these moves. Because you look at them now and it's like they're obvious. But I called out some good trades this week and last week. These first 2 weeks of December. Yeah, it might be like last night, like someone said in the chat, might be like last night where you get a bigger pullback before the move. Or even for next week, like, yeah, this probably going to be something, like, depending on how it plays out tonight, probably something we're going to be talking about next week. Backtest, forward tests, like these, maybe this next week too, like just forward test the market. Stay on top of things, look at like what price did during your sessions. Backtests last January, February. I mean, last January, gold started off just going up. Like gold last year just started bullish right away. I mean, Christmas last year, like the Christmas week, there was some movement. And then the volume came in. Like you could see this just started trending last year. It started trending perfectly into January. Like it just like it was perfect last year. We didn't realize how perfect it was at the time, but we were on point with gold last year, following the beginning of its uptrend. If you go to my live streams last year, I was looking at gold all January, all February, all March. Gold started nice last year. Like January just started trending, and it was an entire bullish January, bullish February, all the way till March, April. You go back test last January, you have like a perfect uptrend. I remember when we were streaming live, so many of these times. Like I remember we caught on to this. January had a really good uptrend for gold. So I don't know if this year is going to start off with uptrend. Like it already is. Like metals are already pushing up. Like going into. We're only December 11th, so we still have time. See what the situation is with gold tonight, though. We're in this area that could hold short term. In this area, or like last night. Last night we had a deeper retracement. This could go for a deeper retracement before making the bigger move. Let's see what happens tonight. I'm gonna be on later tonight. This is the only stream I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna stream again later. But that's going to be it. Moving averages. Do you post your settings on moving averages and fibs on school? It should be in the videos in the classroom section. They should be in the classroom section. There's a video on moving averages in the classroom section. Fibonacci, I don't use any secret settings with the Fibonacci, just the regular settings, 50%, 61, no secret settings with Fibonacci or anything. There's just settings that every trader uses, the 50%, 61.8, 70%, 78.6. Fibonacci is just regular settings. I just don't use shallow retracements. I just prefer not to. I don't really like shallow retracements. But yeah, like Fibonacci, I just use like the regular standard settings of like 50%, 61, 70, 78.6. Moving average is 50 and 20. There should be videos in the classroom on it. See the continuations, or it might hold the zone. It still might. It doesn't. It looks bad right now, like it's pushing down, but could potentially flip up. Hold this area. What time is it? 8 o'clock. Yeah, just like Tokyo. Still early too. Like it's not a time where like crazy. It's not a time where the market's gonna like New York session. The market's fast with volatility up and down, more sporadic. Like these hours are more like bounce. You get good bounces. You get some good active movement. Good for scalping. Good for like not like you don't get like crazy whip spas as much in these hours with price. The volume can be the price volume, the way the volatility is, can be a bit more controlled. But yeah, I'll probably see everybody in a couple hours if you're plugging in a bit later tonight. Probably around the same time I went live last night. We will see. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at gold tonight. I'm going to be looking at this area. There might be a reaction here. It's more of like a short-term trade potentially, but the main thing we want is even what we talked about earlier today is this resistance area. If we can pull down there. So let's see. I'll be on later.